Now, as we showed you in the previous segment, the legacy press was more than happy to run with whatever the Democrat Party fed them. And legacy press and far left talking points. And this was they spread this image to the ends of the earth because nothing sets a narrative like an image with no context. And then in a truly Twilight Zone moment, a story about a woman sitting behind Brett Kavanaugh started making the rounds. I did not believe this story when I first saw it. I did not believe the outrage from some of these verified accounts when I first saw this story. And then I discovered that it was real. This woman's name is Zena Bash, and conspiracy theorists, including several with those coveted blue checks of Twitter verification, they decided that this half Mexican, half Jewish granddaughter of Polish immigrants who survived the Holocaust, that she's a white supremacist. Like, her grandparents barely survived with their lives. Now, all of these conspiracy theorists, their proof, not making this up, I swear to you, it's the way that she rested her hand on her arm. Now, while some journalists like Brian Stelter and Chris Hayes opted out of this insanity, sadly, far too many didn't, and this unhinged conspiracy theory was spread far and wide. Enough that Zena's husband, U.S. Attorney John Bash, issued a statement telling everyone how ridiculous that they became. He says, quote, "The attacks today on my wife are repulsive. Everyone tweeting this vicious conspiracy theory should be ashamed of themselves. We weren't even familiar with the hateful symbol being attributed to her for the random way that she rested her hand during a long hearing. Zena is Mexican on her mother's side, Jewish on her father's side. She was born in Mexico. Her grandparents were Holocaust survivors. We, of course, have nothing to do with hate groups which aim to terrorize and demean other people, never have and never would. Some of the Twitter comments," he continues, "have even referred to our baby daughter. And I know that there are good folks on both sides of the political divide." He says, "I hope that people will clearly condemn this idiotic and sickening accusation." Sickening is right. And as I mentioned, there were some journalists that bothered to call this hogwash, the ones who bought into it will likely not be held to account for spreading such a malicious lie. I mean, it's insane to see that this went, in fact, some of the original tweets of this received thousands and thousands and thousands of retweets. You know what they say, that a lie makes its way around the world before the truth can even get its pants on. But some of these individuals that spread this, they'll get a mild wag of the finger for now. But believe me, they're all ready to circle the wagons around any journalist who might otherwise rightfully be shamed for this behavior. It just is amazing to me that this story persisted for as long as it did and that it was this popular. It's amazing.